All right, from the war, which is definitely top of mind to investors, we got to talk global markets.
Yeah, with us, Skyler Weinand, Chief Investment Officer at Regan Capital. It's got $3.9 billion in assets under management. Skyler joins us here on set in the Bloomberg studio. Good to see you, Skyler. We got to start with the war. You just heard the conversation we had with Jenny. What is your base case for how long it lasts? Your base case for oil this year? The two obviously linked, and look at the equity market and what the equity market has done over the last 2 weeks. What are your base cases on both of these things?
I think best case scenario is 6 weeks. So base case has to be, 3 to 4 months.
Wow. Okay. So I'm just processing that.
Right.
6 weeks of what we've seen over the last 2 weeks, roughly. If it goes 3 or 4 months, what does that end up looking like? Is it airstrikes? Is it something that, the president said not ruled out any sort of additional measures, I guess you could say? Yeah,
I think Iran is almost entering like a Vietnam guerrilla war where they're talking about, hey, we're going to go after ships in the Strait of Hormuz.
Right.
We're going to start, we just launched a torpedo for the first time in 50 years. Yeah. And so we're dialing back the clock here in terms of how we're doing warfare and how Iran especially is doing warfare. And they're not going to give up. But you look at Venezuela, you look at Iran, we're talking about, taking over Cuba. What this does is it raises the cost of capital for U.S. investors and investors everywhere. So you're seeing, not only are you seeing that in increased commodity prices, oil's up to $95 again, and people are starting to get worried about inflation going back up to 3 to 4%, and they are going to start demanding higher returns for investing in U.S. assets. And in turn, interest rates go up, equities go down. So the cost of capital for all players involved is increasing with this uncertainty and tenure of this war.
There's so many places to go. I'm thinking about if it's the worst case scenario, 3 to 4 months, so that takes us to either June or July. I'm just trying to understand, the mission in terms of, I guess, what the administration is doing, what this means for elections, and then maybe what this means longer term for the U.S. economy and the investment environment. Like, how far out do you feel comfortable talking about when it comes to the investment environment?
Tomorrow? What's going to happen today or tomorrow?
That's honest and fair, yeah.
Yeah, and so we like to stay super short. We like floating rate assets that are government guaranteed, floating rate, or very high certainty of getting paid back for now. We want to wait until the curve steepens out and you're actually getting paid to take on more risk, whether that's time or credit risk, right? So it's week by week at this point.
Yeah.
Bonds lost almost 1.5 points already this month. Bonds are back to flat. Equities are down 2 to 3% for the year. So everything that the government set out to do to start the year, which is lower mortgage rates, bring interest rates down, bring the 10-year Treasury down, make things more affordable, they're not working. We're doing the exact opposite of what we wanted to do.
And you bring up a good point, and I think that's a point that takes us to Washington, D.C. and to the politics of this. And it's a midterm year, and voters certainly have different priorities, but affordability was a key message for this administration. It's one of the reasons it took the House, the Senate, and the White House in 2024. Does this change your view for what happens in the midterms, and what are the economic implications of that?
For sure. And you're already seeing it in a couple of key races that we've seen. Texas, I live in Dallas, Tallarico getting the nomination. Marjorie Taylor Greene's seat, where Democrats outpaced Republicans in that district.
Right.
So I think the likely case is that, Democrats for sure take the House and the Senate may be in play. But you're seeing this ebb and flow between the administration and, Trump's a lame duck, right? Even though he's got 3 years left. And he's going to go back and forth internally with his team in terms of, I need to set my mark on foreign policy, or I really care about getting some things done in the last 2 years of my administration, and I care about having all three houses or all, both houses plus the administration.
So then, maybe devil's advocate a little bit, do we have a president who's actually thinking about what's better for the world? longer term, and perhaps then as a result what's maybe better for the U.S. longer term, or who knows? Like, I think, we go back to, Skyler, like, what is the mission of this?
Yeah.
Now, we've had guests, several, who've said this is long overdue. We know Iran has been a bad actor, does not like the United States, but I just do wonder.
That seems to be a common theme from our guests.
Yeah,
over and over
it's
again
really
saying that.
Right.
Yeah.
Kind of. So, like, is this actually a president who's maybe somehow, as much as it creates a lot of tension and volatility in the market, perhaps creating a better way forward for the world overall, and not thinking about the midterms, which would be something refreshing. Some would say that they're not watching elections. Members of Congress are probably watching the midterms very closely. So I'm trying to understand, like, do we get to a president that's actually maybe doing some smart policies? Like I said, maybe I'm playing devil's advocate a little bit here.
I think so, but they're missing the second order effect.
Which is?
Okay, we're going to take out Iran's leader. But Iran all of a sudden is entering an all-out war with the Middle East, and they're going back and doing some of these tactics that we're just going to take over the Strait of Hormuz. We're going to start laying, mines. And I don't know if you saw, we just decommissioned our only minesweeper. The United States did recently, so we don't even have a minesweeper to cure that.
Does it seem like to you, and we're sort of getting, because the conversation's just going this way. We're just bear with us. We're going there. Does it seem to you that the implications and the second order implications that you just mentioned were planned for with these strikes 2 weeks ago?
No way, no how. No way. Look at mortgage rates right now.
Yeah.
Mortgage rates touched 595. They're back up to about 630. Okay. When the administration announced that Freddie and Fannie were going to buy another $200 billion of mortgage bonds on January 8th, mortgage rates are higher. Mortgage spreads are higher today than they were the day before they did that. So everything that, if we're playing chess, I think Trump thought he was going to be able to take out the king and the game was over.
They didn't expect the fight back, I think.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah, no doubt.
Maybe, Carol, just to your point, the success in Venezuela, maybe it gave some sense that,
too easy.
This will work.
But I guess, exactly.
Maybe.
But it makes me then a little nervous about, where was the intel on this, right? You do have allies in the region. You have Israel, right? Like, so where, I don't know.
It is very possible that if Israel wasn't involved, it wouldn't have gotten to this stage. But Israel actually did the attack. We provided the intel, and I think Israel may be a larger enemy in that area than the United States is.
So let's bring it back to investing and how you make these decisions in a world like this. Oil, triple digits, $118 per barrel earlier this week. How high could it get?
I think we've probably seen the peak in oil for a while. I think that was definitely a knee-jerk reaction of the market that, this is going to last forever. That comment that Trump made, this is great, we want high oil prices. No, we don't. Gasoline's already gone up 75 cents a gallon in the last 10 days.
Yeah. There's a reason fertilizer stocks and just all these different
bills,
things. And
it's not only oil, it's heating oil.
Yeah.
It's, gasoline, it's natural gas that are all crushing the consumer. And let's say we get a 3.5% inflation print here in the next 2 or 3 months. They're going to dial back the clock real quick, and they're going to want to say, all right, we've had enough. Let's get out of this.
Skyler, just got 30 seconds.
Sure.
So I think in reading your notes, talked about keeping elevated cash levels.
Yeah.
Be cautious.
Oh, yeah.
For investors.
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
You can make 5-6% yield in really short duration, high quality fixed income and wait it out. When do you know the coast is clear? When the curve steepens out, when potentially lower interest rate or the front end interest rates come down, Warsh gets elected. At that point in time, when you have a much steeper curve, it's safe to come out and take some risk.
Skyler, thank you so much. Skyler Weinand, Chief Investment Officer at Regan Capital.